Hey everybody, Pat Mesiti here, 12 o'clock Friday. And today I want to cover a couple of topics. Again, firstly, the vilification of people of faith, but also I want to talk about you and who's responsible for your financial world. Right now, that the Prime Minister, the Treasurer, and the Governor of the Reserve Bank are literally, well, they're not working for you. I'm going to wait for some people to jump on, and it'd be great for some of you to let people know. Great to see them, my good friend Peter Campbell. And let me just say this. Inflation at the moment is at a 7.8% high, which is way too high, and it is going up. Thanks for joining me, Ginger, as well. Please let people know we are on, and Suzanne Collins. But let me just say this to you. Prime Minister Albanese needs to apologize to the nation for 98 lies. Mr. Albanese needs to apologize for saying 97 times before the election that power prices would go down by 275%, when it's clearly not the case. He also needs to apologise for this big lie. Prime Minister Albanese needs to apologise for saying that Australians would have cheaper mortgages when it is clearly not the case. The problem with our political system is we know they're lying and we let them lie. We let them lie. We continue to allow the lie. Jim Rohn once says this: why do people lie? Well, that's what lies do. Liars lie. But yet at the same time, we can't sit there doing nothing. Let me read to you some other issues that we're facing. Another issue we're facing is the rental crisis. Now, Mr. Lowe says, an unelected official, by the way, who's paid $1 million, $1 million, he says basically that the problem isn't interest rates and mortgage rises, it's rental crisis, that there isn't enough properties. So why don't you speak to your friend Albanese and stop him from bringing in 200 immigrants into the country when Australians can't find work? I'm not buying this nonsense that we have our unemployment at an all-time low. Go to any local cafe and you will find staff shortages. You see, on Tuesday, Labor power broker and former Minister Stephen Conroy said Dr. Lowe should lose his job, describing his hikes as an outrage. Now, we know that around 800,000 mortgage holders have not felt the full brunt of the interest rate rise, according to one of the leaders in our nation, Mr. Jones. He says, look, 800,000 haven't felt it. Today, the governor of the Reserve Bank says that the full impact, the full assault, the full pain won't be felt till later on. What drugs are you smoking? People are feeling the pain now. Where is the $275 discount, supposedly, on our energy bill? Now, I know some of you say, oh, Pat, what's this got to do with spiritual matters? Look, I do both on this platform. We need to address political matters and economic matters, because these are spiritual and financial strongholds. And as I've always said, if you give them the power to feed you, you give them the power to control you. Well, Mr. Lowe, sorry for mincing my words, he's facing his second parliamentary committee in as many days. And when he was asked what keeps him awake at night, listen to the arrogance of this man. He says, nothing keeps me awake at night. Do you know why nothing keeps him awake at night? $1 million a year plus. Plus, before he raises the interest rates, the governor of the Reserve Bank went and had lunch with one of the elite banking companies, Baron Joey, the investment bank Baron Joey, in a private exclusive lunch, hanging around with the hobnobs, having around with the guys that want to slug you, make sure that you own nothing and you'll be happy. And he said, this is what Dr. Lowe says. He defended his participation in the lunch, saying the bank needs to talk to people. Hey, come out to Blacktown, come out to Bankstown, come down to Punchbowl, come to the Gold Coast, come to Hope Island, come to where the real people are, not in some 5-star banking, swanking luncheon. Come to the real people. They're not talking to the real people. This guy could afford mortgages of 7.8 million, by the way, which you pay for. You pay for this, folks. $1 million a year. And when he's challenged about his term, he says, and I quote, that he intends to fulfill his whole tenure as the governor of the Reserve Bank. This is the man, the most arrogant man in Australia, next to Albanese. He wants you to suffer. That's what he wants. He has no interest in dropping inflation. He's already told us that he will raise the interest rates again 2 or 3 times. I don't believe that. I believe there's about another 5 or 6 coming. And then he says that he finds it offensive and untoward, and he doesn't want to be in the media. He doesn't want to be in the press. Well, stop doing the stuff that gets you in the press. You were Nigel Nobody until you started inflicting pain on the Australian people. Let me just say this to you, Dr. Lowe. What rock are you trying to hide under? The people of Australia pay you $1 million a year for you to send them without homes, unable to pay their mortgages. And then here's his advice. Listen to this. I want to make sure that I get this right, because he says, capitalism works. Australians complain a lot. Do you know why they complain a lot? Because they've got a lot to complain about. 9 rises and still coming. Now, whilst we complain, we're losing a lot of energy. We've got to be people that work towards building and creating ourselves financial freedom. The pandemic was the gateway to all this nonsense. He says, Dr. Lowe, Australians forget about the quality of life that we are afforded compared to many other countries around the world. What, China? New Zealand? Canada? Italy? Name the countries. Name them. They are all part and parcel of this global economic system that is out there to destroy you. You're paid $1 million a year. And this is what he says. I've got to love this. Dr. Lowe has told Australians they should hunt down good deals on mortgage rates and switch banks if they are not happy. So you're going to go to your bank, and by the way, you can go to your bank and ask for a better deal. Yes, you can. And then switch banks. Then everyone's got to go through all the paperwork, all the hoops, everything else. And then he says to hunt for good deals. Well, you're going to go down to the supermarket and say, hey, the Arnott's biscuits, they're whatever they are, I want a discount on that because Mr. Lowe says I've got to hunt a good deal. You're going to go down to your local petrol station. Oh, I know. Well, we're going to save the little receipts just like you do, Mr. Lowe, and we're going to hand them in to get a better deal. You're going to go down to your local deli or your local butcher. They're already struggling. See, they treat us like fools. This is a man paid $1 million a year, and then he and the treasurer have got the audacity to get out there and say he called out the banks for not passing on higher interest rates to customers with savings accounts. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. They actually don't have to. You are in charge of it. Stop calling out the banks for a job that you should be doing. And by the way, the banks aren't your real friends. Dr. Lowe, facing his second parliamentary committee in many days, says, I don't lose sleep at night. Of course you don't. on $1 million a year, I wouldn't lose sleep at nights either. You see, they won't take responsibility for the mess. Albanese won't take responsibility for the mess that they are creating. And now Adam Bandit wants to hold him to ransom, saying, yeah, I'll sign this and this if you stop any more mines, any more coals in Australia. These people want to bankrupt our country. The Greens, they want to turn this into a socialist country. And again, Christians vilified. Look, I've got all kinds of friends. I've got straight friends, gay friends. I've got all kinds of friends. They know where I stand. They know where I don't stand. But again, today in Sydney, a particular organisation, Quick Copy, the guy was asked by a segment of the gay community to print brochures. He refused because he said it contradicts his faith. So what happens is they jump on board and they start a war against Christians. Oh, you see, and then they quote government policy. But I want to ask you a question. Would that very same guy who's gone and vilified this Christian who runs a Quick Copy print company, by the way, he has every right to say no. But let me ask you, why don't you go to another printer? No, you choose him. You actually targeted him, a believer, knowing full well that he probably has to act on his conscience. Why do you want to send your teachers to Christian schools to indoctrinate? It's not about rights and freedom. But let me ask you, would you allow an evangelical, tongue-talking or right-wing ever, Baptist, whatever, non-woke person to work and to print brochures that said, Jesus Christ is Lord, the blood of Jesus Christ saves from all sin? Would you allow them to print anything, the scripture that says against your behavior and your lifestyle? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't do it. But because a lot of believers lay down like lame ducks, they think they can walk all over us. Conscience before profit. Conscience before profit. And yet they vilify us. Lowe and all these people have targeted not only the Australian economy, they've targeted the Australian way of life and faith. Let me just say this. We are meant to fight for our family, fight for our faith, and fight for our freedom. Now, a lot of people don't like to use that word fight because they find that word fight offensive. But they find it offensive only if we use it. If they use it, it's okay. Now, this Sunday, I have a very important message on breaking financial strongholds this coming Sunday. Tomorrow, which is Saturday, we had such a response on Wednesday to the Financial Freedom Summit. I'll put the link here in the chat with Sean. We've been asked, and Sean, my great friend Sean Allison, has given up his time to do an encore tomorrow. Listen, stop blaming the government, stop blaming Hogan, stop blaming your boss. You're responsible for your financial life. You're responsible. You can't, we can blame these guys, but then we've got to do what we got to do. We have to do what we got to do. Listen to me, beloved. You have to do something. Sitting there, hope, wish, and pray is not a financial strategy. So tomorrow, I'll put a link here in the chat if you'd like to join us. It's free. Sean's got some great content. Gonna blow the roof of what's really happening in the future and what's happening right now that you don't even know about. Sunday, breaking financial strongholds. And then listen very carefully. I need your help. Next Friday, the 24th, I will be doing prayer and pushback. I think it's 4. I've got Topher Field. I've got Avi. We've got Malcolm Roberts. We've got Monica Smith. We've got reporters such as journalists as Alexandra Marshall, Pastor Marty Emanuel, myself, and so many others. Senator Alexander will be. However, it will not be on this platform. We're going to be talking about the climate change cult. We're going to be talking about the digital ID. This content will be banned on social media. So you must register. You must register for the Zoom. We'll all be on the Zoom together. No, it won't be posted. No, it won't be let out. I am constantly at war, literally, with these social media tyrants for what we do. They had to put security around our house. Now, if you don't register for this, you can't watch it. I need your support. I need you to do this. And we've got a streaming company that's going to be streaming the whole lot. Topher Field, Avi, myself, Monica, Malcolm Roberts, Senator Alex Addick, George Christensen, Craig Kelly, so many great people. Now, if you register for it, it's from 11 a.m. Sydney time to about 2, 3 p.m. We're thinking of doing possibly a second one on Saturday, a replay. We're not sure if we can do that or not as yet, but you need to register. Look, even if you register and you can't show, at least you're registered. You never know. We may mail it to you. May. Now, I can't promise, okay? I can't promise you that. I'll do my best, but I need you to be on. Take your phone to work, whatever it is, and zoom in. Now, I'll put a link in here. Folks, please help me spread the word for prayer and pushback. Otherwise, we won't do another one. I do this. We cover the expenses of it. We pay for everything. We want you to be informed. We're going to explode. Yeah, we're going to explain the cult. We're going to explain the idea of what's coming up. We're going to speak on the violation of freedom of speech. So much stuff that's going to be on there. I will put a link in this chat. There also is a link for in the description box. Can you please share these messages? Generally on Friday, they always give me a hard time, the powers that be. But please share this. Please comment. Let your comments be positive. Sunday, I'm going to be speaking on breaking financial strongholds. Tomorrow, 2 hours. Listen to what Sean's got to say. It'll change your life. People were just blown away by the content that he shared on Wednesday. I literally had to twist his arm. He's retired. He doesn't do these things. He doesn't even speak on stages anymore. He speaks for me and a couple of other people, and that's it. So please make sure you register for that. Thank you for listening. And remember, the governor of the Reserve Bank has nothing that keeps him awake at night. Maybe we should give him something to keep him awake at night. Maybe he should lose his job. And if enough people rally around, maybe they'll do that and get rid of the man who put us in this mess, as well as the man that broke 98 promises. Albanese has a lot to answer for. And I was going to make a statement, but I'll hold back on it. He has a lot to answer for. 97 times you lie to the people of Australia, and 98 times when you tell them that their mortgages are going to be lower. That's an outright lie, sir. You owe us an apology, or you owe us to do something about it. And printing money is not the answer. And turning into a socialist republic is not the answer. And by the way, I don't get it. I don't get what you hope to achieve by marching in a march that stands against the very faith that you said you belong to, Mr. Albanese. I'm surprised your priest is serving you communion. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. And that's not having a go at anyone in the gay community, because I have a lot of gay friends, many of them actually. And we respect each other. We respect each other. We respect each other's opinions. We do. We don't vilify. We don't go pushing agendas. We understand. That's what human beings are supposed to do. And as Christians, we're not called to throw rocks at people. That's not our job. Our job is not to be convicting people. That's the Spirit of God's job. And by the way, I want to add, most of us have all got stuff in our own lives we've got to deal with, let alone complaining about what someone else is doing. But we do have to stand up for our rights, and we do have to stand up for what is just and what is pure and what is lovely. So anyway, tomorrow, join me for the Financial Freedom event with Sean. It's going to blow you away how you can outpace inflation. It simply is amazing. Sunday, Breaking Financial Strongholds, February 24th, prayer and pushback, but you must register. There will be a link in the chat and in the description. If you don't register, it won't be on Facebook, it won't be on Instagram Live, and it won't be on YouTube, or whatever it's called. I call it Red because it seems to be one of those, communist-run things. So anyway, God bless you, folks. Appreciate you very much. Thanks for listening. Please share this, like and subscribe. Have an awesome weekend.